will cause it to be colder than a surface or object nearby that is shaded from the moonlight. What causes this phenomena? I have a couple of experiments that I found that I'm going to show to you. 2 different posters. Alright, so the argument in the answer to that question was about cold. What is cold? It's having a low or inadequate temperature, or feeling a sensation of coldness, or having been made cold by, for example, ice or refrigeration. And I'm putting this here because the Aurora Borealis happens near the North Pole, where it's super cold. And of course the ocean is pretty darn cold too, usually.
Energy in form of electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation consists of an enormous range of wavelengths and frequencies. Where does light come from? A vast range of electromagnetic waves are created when atoms or molecules drop from a higher state of energy to a lower one. They lose energy and emit it in the form of radiation.
So in this lingo, ultraviolet light is bluer than blue, and X-rays are bluer than ultraviolet. An object that's hotter will emit light with a higher energy, that is, a shorter wavelength. Cooler objects give off light with a longer wavelength.
The beauty of bioluminescence, unlike the light from the sun or an incandescent bulb, is that it's not hot. It takes place in a range of temperatures that don't burn a living thing. Bioluminescent reactions use replenishable resources. That's one reason engineers are trying to develop bioluminescent trees.
2,000 years later.
Well, that's the first I heard about bioluminescent trees, so there went another rabbit hole.
Another important property of matter is that the kind of light an object emits depends on its temperature.
Temperature, the degree of hotness or coldness of a body or environment, corresponding to its molecular activity. Okay, and the experiments that I promised. This is the moon light temperature. This is the moon shade temperature. And from the other experiment, this is exposed and this is in the shade. It's quite a good little difference, about 5 to 7 degrees. Okay, now for the rude response. First of all, light cannot be cold or hot. Temperature is the thermodynamic state that is applicable to matter. Light is not matter. Okay.
How is light made? Well, one of the most basic properties of matter is that when you heat it up, it gains energy, and then it tries to get rid of that energy.
Because light not only interacts with matter, it's also altered by it and can be used to gather information about the world around us with almost no delay.
If you have a projector of light and you want to show it, it has to reflect on something.
So now when I focus the light right there, now it's as though that light bulb is huge now.
If you take a beam of light now and throw it into the space, it's not going to reflect on anything, you're not going to see this light. It has to reflect on something. So the Kadosh Baruch Hu takes his wisdom, takes his chesed, takes his attributes, and he reflects it into the world. He shines it into the world.
Opposite of sunlight, of course, moonlight is reflected sunlight.
I love how he mispronounces the word opposite and just like quick spews like the indoctrination, like boom. Now, if reflected light is cold light, then why is his thermal thing picking up his body temperature? Look at this. I mean, really, it's kind of embarrassing. However, I do very much appreciate the temperature experiment that he gave to us. It was very good. Remember, the light is given to these orbs.
A phosphor is a substance that soaks up energy from another source, like a light bulb, and then releases that energy as actual visible light.
You emit light, but it's in the far infrared, well beyond what our eyes can see.
In the Kabbalistic term, we call the Kadosh Baruch Hu Or Ein Sof, the infinite light. Now you think the Kadosh Baruch Hu is a light bulb.
The bulb is bigger, so it's going to take up a larger portion of your field of view.
Since light is energy, one way to get rid of energy is to emit light.
When you're saying the word energy, it's very hard to define what's energy.
Well, the noun form of energy in physics is a thermodynamic quantity equivalent to the capacity of a physical system to do work.
But the energy comes only from the soul.
So energy is thermodynamic. So let's break down thermo. It's a word-forming element meaning hot, heat, or temperature used in scientific and technical. Well, if it's our soul, which can be translated as spirit, which is also translated as fire, which can also be translated then to heat. Pretty cool.
The Neshema is the energy.
The Neshema is basically your soul or your spirit, being a dynamic, energetic force, motive force. Now, as an adjective, it could be a manner of interaction. Well, couldn't that be food? What does Rabbi have to say?
It's digested and gets part of your body and allows your neshama to express itself.
Well, thank you all so much for watching, and I will look forward to the next video coming soon. Bye.